For years now, I've been planning and scripting different forms of content that hasn't been seen officially. The most anyone has seen from me comes from live streams. And in said live streams, lost to time or inability to archive, I've mentioned that I have had phases in my life where I have wanted to become a content creator. A spark would fly from creators such as Domix, Jaden Animations, and I think Tony V Tunes, who were, at the time, mainly storytime animators. I remember making a hypothetical list of things I would need to create videos, but then I curbed the idea thinking my life was too boring to make content of. That and my feelings for content creation were far too shallow. Then 2019 happened, and for whatever reason, I don't know if it was Ferris or Toko, but one of them pitched the idea of a variety podcast. And if I'm gonna be real, the idea had my heart moving a bit. And it wasn't something high maintenance either, since it would be like any VC we'd have at that point. Spoiler alert, a year passes and it ends. But not for any ill or bad reason though, it was just general life changes between us. But for me personally, a part of me also wanted something more. Something that the podcast couldn't provide completely. It was webcomics, Webtoon in particular. Although we were a variety podcast, once a month Ferris and I would invite a creator we knew and got to know them better. And I have to say, it was some of the most fun and interesting interactions I've had on this quote-unquote content creation journey, so to speak. Somewhere along the way though, and I don't remember if it was during or after this era, I started streaming on Twitch. Just me reading Canvas webtoons that friends made and more recently originals. Just vibing with anyone that joined. The overall point I'm trying to get at here is that out of all the content I've done, I wanted to do webtoon content. Webcomic content in general. Which started out with the feeling that Webtoon didn't push the comics I thought needed more attention. Hence, why I was hosting that monthly segment during the podcast. Not too long after I began writing the script, I had DM'd someone whom I had known by extension of another friend. And funnily enough, although me DMing them started from just wanting to get to know them better, the conversation ended up becoming how I would approach my content moving forward. But out of all the advice they gave me, two pieces stuck with me. The first being that I should grow my audience on other platforms before I continued Twitch. Standard advice rising streamers have likely heard when first starting out. And the second, which caught me a little bit off guard, was to look beyond Webtoon. Reading this advice had me slightly conflicted. Making offline content about webcomics and the like was the original plan, but it would mean putting a lot of effort and time into the process of just putting out one video, something I could do on a stream without the editing prowess and with the possible community interaction, which, admittedly, was getting more stagnant with every stream. These were the thoughts that went through my mind for a while. I went into content creation knowing full well it wouldn't be easy, but I was just trying to spare myself from the possible embarrassment of showing crappy drawings and edits to show my appreciation for a story. Because I didn't have to think about that doing streams. Hell, part of me wants to show the feelings I have through music and animation, but that's more of a when we get there. If we get there, we get there. Honestly, I'm still very unsure about me doing content creation, partially because of the underlying feeling of not succeeding. But also because I heard of streamers say something along the lines of this. If you can imagine yourself being happy with a sustainable job, then do that instead. The overall point being that I will likely be happier and live better in general because of it. I had only decided more than a few years ago that I wanted to be a therapist or a counselor because I honestly couldn't see myself as anything else. But now, the possibility of sharing my passions, my joy, and having deeper looks into media to my own group of viewers it sounds like the best. No matter what, I can say that I will become a therapist. It's just a matter of if I would be willing to divert from that path for content creation, regardless if I still like it or not. Am I even capable of making a situation like that work? It feels unbelievable, improbable, unreal. So why is it that my heart wants it so bad? Why am I clinging on to the hope that it will work, even knowing who I am fully? I like to think I'm not a stubborn person, but every now and then, even I have things that I can't really seem to budge on. So I will give this a real attempt. This time, not passively doing half-hearted live streams, but really seeing what I'm trying to do. The vision I'm trying to make my reality. But I can also see this being the only video I will ever truly put out. But that's the beauty of this video. And that's exactly why I wanted to at least upload this. Its existence on this channel, and the possible lack or abundance of videos respectively, will dictate my story on its own. Personally, I'm hoping for the latter. I'm hoping that I will prove myself wrong, that just like art and writing, content creation will also be an obstacle I can jump over with joy. But I won't shame myself for not being able to, especially if I made an honest attempt, because life can be weird like that. People change. Since I'm probably gonna title this video along the lines of my first video or whatever, I think it would be appropriate to make a toast to life and the ever pursuit of happiness. Cheers.